we have to experiment and we have to be very, very brave. This is also, you have to knock at the door every time. If some company said, no, I don't want this, don't want to believe in this project, never mind, go to another company and be brave.
Welcome to the Beyond Interior Design podcast, the ultimate destination for entrepreneurial interior designers who are not only passionate about their craft, but also eager to master the skills necessary to elevate their careers to new heights. If that sounds like you, then you found your tribe, especially in this episode, because we are going to dive deeper into one of the most influential designers of the 20th century, Achille Castiglioni from Italy. He left behind a remarkable legacy in the fields of design and architecture, influencing generations of designers with his innovative approach and timeless creations. Achille Castiglioni is renowned for creating numerous design classics that have become true collector's items, and they continue to be highly prized by collectors and design enthusiasts around the world. One out of his most iconic designs, the Arco Lamp, designed for Floss in 1962, the very first original, the Earth stainless steel arch floor lamp with the marble base. You will recognize it. It became a huge statement for modern design. But his work not only spans lighting, also furniture, everyday objects characterized by their innovative use of materials and the functional and playful design. Unfortunately, Achille Castiglioni passed away on December 2nd, 2002. But today, in the Beyond Interior Design podcast, I'm so grateful to have her to contribute to continue the design dialogue and to keep his legacy alive. Please welcome her, the daughter of Achille Castiglioni, Giovanna Castiglioni.
Ciao, how are you?
Bienvenuto.
Ciao, benvenuti.
Yeah, grazie mille for being my guest, Giovanna.
You are really welcome.
Yeah, you too. Well, we have a lot to talk about today, but we've met in person last year, and I was invited on a charity dinner of one of my suppliers and to raise money for your foundation. What was the name of your foundation? I love to hear your Italian.
We are Italian, yeah.
Yes, but I love to hear your Italian. What's the name of your,
il mio italiano.
what's the name of your foundation?
Vuoi sentire parlare un po' italiano?
Oh no, Fondazione Achille Castiglioni?
In italiano, ok, Fondazione Achille Castiglioni.
Yes, sounds way better than I do, so...
If not, I can speak in Italian for all the podcast, Well, it's up to you.
Well, let's do it in English. Let's do it in
Okay.
English. People are used to do it in English, used to listen to English. Well, you gave us a very inspiring and fun presentation about the design philosophy of your father that really resonated with me. You joined us at the table and we had such a great connection, so I was like, there was one thing going on in my mind. I should ask her for the Beyond Interior Design podcast. She needs to be in it. And you said, see.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
I have to tell you a secret, because I know literally every design icon your father designed visually, but I never knew that he designed those. So he just recently became one of my design heroes, and especially for his vision, because it goes way beyond the aesthetics. And today we're going to discover that. So just
that's great.
Yeah, I never heard of your father, but I know all his icons. That's crazy, right? Yeah.
But also for Achille, it's really special to be in every houses, without people who knows that was he was a famous designer, or he loves so much to find the object designed by himself in a normal house. So was also really nice for him.
Can imagine, yeah. We are going to talk about the importance of having a design philosophy, the necessity to have your own design principles, because it has such creative power. Well, your father is a great example. He's the proof of that, of having your own principles. He had really genuine genuine, authentic principles that made him thrive in business and in life. So it's a lovely combination that I heard from your story.
Right.
So I'm a sponge. If you're watching or listening right now, I will recommend I recommend you will act like a sponge too, because we want to know all of it. So well, let's start with one of the core design principles of your father.
Yeah, the best one, I think, that it's really true also today is a link to curiosity. So he's always said to his student, if you are not curious, forget it. So if you want to be a good designer today, it's really important to be curious. You mentioned before, I'm a sponge. So it's important to be like a sponge and to absorb the information everywhere, every day, about everything.
So curiosity is the main skill you need to have when you are a designer.
Yeah, but also when you are a child, no? When you are a little. So we have just to improve our child inside, no? We have to continue to be young inside in our mind, but also outside if it's possible. But I think it's so important to training a little bit our children inside, just to be honest and to be focused on daily object, because around us there are a lot of objects so smart and so clever, and sometimes we never know who designed them.
No, well, I know you have a big collection. Well, your father started it, right?
Yeah.
Tell me more about it. What kind of collection is it?
Is a collection about daily object. Anonymous object, we say anonymous object when we don't know who designed them, but of course there is a designer behind every object. And also nowadays I try to improve this collection. For my father was more than 1,000 object.
More than 1,000?
1,000. And I try to do my best to continue this collection, but in my way, because I'm a geologist. I move into another direction, into industrial design.
Yeah.
I keep alive the heritage of my father, but I'm really curious too. So this is why I continue to collect objects. Just because I love different things. Sometimes are bottles, sometimes are cutlery set, sometimes screwdrivers, sometimes scissors, eyeglasses, shoes, why not, toys. So something smart.
Yeah, you showed us when we met live, when you give your presentation, you showed us really cool stuff. I saw all the eyes of the participants in the room who were like, "Whoa, I need to have it. Where can I buy it?" And you were like, "I don't know. We just found it somewhere. Maybe it's one single piece in the world of it, but it never was a success, or it was unknown." It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's very pity. I'm really sad about some objects because they are so clever, and sometimes nobody knows that there are some objects so smart. Also, just in a hardware store, you have to discover. No, you have to pick some object just around you.
Yeah. Talking about daily objects, where most of us are using every day, you had a kind of necklace around your neck.
Yeah,
obviously.
I have always with me a strange necklace without diamonds, without prestigious gems, but just a switch with me.
Yes, you're showing us a light switch, just a white light switch with a black button. It's everybody knows this object. Who designed it?
So this is a normal light switch that you can find in every hardware store, and nobody knows that was designed by Castiglioni's brother in 1968.
By his brother.
So it's really common object. It's really good example of industrial design, isn't it? It's a mass production for every people, low price, just a switch for everyone. So you can use like a switch or you can use it to switch off voice or on ideas or good energy. So it's just a symbolic way to keep alive a man who enjoy very much his life.
Yeah, so you make sure your switch is in the right mode every time.
Every time. Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, I love it. Yeah, and talking about mass production, we're going to more in depth on that one because we have this creative world and this entrepreneurial world, and sometimes it's not the best match because we fantasize, or can be romantic and positive about many things in the world, and we might want to make it more beautiful and better. But on the other hand, there's this commercial world that we need to sometimes to earn money to. So I think later on we will connect those with the principles, your design vision, and the commercial world. I love to know more about how your father was dealing with it, because I can imagine he came up with some crazy ideas that the commercial world said, well, Achille.
I have a good example to share with you. So let's start with one principle that Achille said every time: objects must keep you company. So starting from these sentences, that is super important because everything around you are important: chairs, table, glasses, everything. No, it's a part of became a part of your life. So you have to imagine that Achille was really lucky to design a lot of objects for different companies and different functions also. And at the same time, he was able to design a vacuum cleaner, a coffee machine, lamps, tables, chairs, also many lamps, but also dishes, glasses, a machine to drop the beer, for example, radios, many items, and furniture.
How did it, because it sounds really random, like why do you design a lamp, and why a beer can open, and why, how
sometimes companies write to Achille and he asks him specifically a project for the company. Sometimes he tested object for an exhibition, and after the exhibition, when the exhibition was in the end, the company said, okay, Achille, we can try to put in production this lamp because it's super functional, and we tested this lamp or this chair with the visitors in the exhibition or
so
in a temporary exhibition.
Literally designed just for the exhibition?
Sometimes, yes.
Testing it over there and see if it could be
yeah. So sometimes for example, for Mezzadro and Sella, designed for these two pieces, there are two iconic pieces, two stools. So one is a saddle for bicycle, and is the bouncing, very funny. And the other one, it's a tractor seat. These are two good examples of ready-made. And for example, in this case, these two stools were just an experiment for an exhibition in 1957. And after 20 years, Zanotta company believed in this project and they put in production and are still in production. So it's in this case, it's a very good example because, they need 20 years to realize that there is the possibility to put a tractor seat at home. Very strange, but you can use it. It's really comfortable, so it makes sense.
Yeah, well, it doesn't make sense when you're just listening and you never heard of Achille Castiglioni, and you're like, a tractor seat, a bike seat, and converted into a chair. What? Well, let's get into his mind. What was, because we are touching one of his other design principles, his philosophy. Why was he crazy about this kind of ordinary parts? Because they're not used to sit in a living room, or it's a tractor. It just said what it is.
Of course. But in this case, because he was really curious about everything, and in the same time, he don't want to ask to companies to spend too much money for mold to make something. So sometimes ready-made means that you have already object, very clever, very nice, already exist. You have just to put together. So it's not just.
No.
But it's something that for companies, it's so challenging to also to find something that it's already done. No, it's already here, and you can find a connection, maybe a butterfly screw, maybe something different to connect different elements from different functions. For example, also Toio lamp. Toio lamp is you have to imagine it's a lamp designed in 1962 with a car reflector lamp, a similar rod for fishing, ring for fishing, electric transformer visible, and extraction just to hold it. You don't need more. You don't need more. So he reduced to the essential all things, and at the same time, it's affordable and affordable. Sometimes are quite expensive, just the bulb, but it's it's something that you can use it.
Yeah, so you was always looking to use daily ordinary objects or elements and to combine that to level up the element, or how can you say it? What was he trying to do to create more out of those elements, or?
Not always, but sometimes he tried to solve a problem also for engineer in the company. So they tried to find the right elements to combine all things. So this is why Achille loves so much the interdisciplinarity, and he loves so much also to work with the other people, not only alone, because you can learn by workers all the time. And he said that from workers he learned a lot. So it was really amazing for Achille to find the right way to solve a problem with other people.
Yeah, he was obviously very practical in his approach. It was driven by practicality almost, like, oh, I can use this for that, we can combine it into that. That was one of his things. Why? Yeah. You're showing me a spoon.
Yeah, I show you a spoon.
Showing me a spoon. Tell us.
In this case, because my mind goes directly to a practical solution for a spoon that for all of us, it's you have to imagine a normal spoon, no, with a part round, another part to hold it. That's it. In Castiglioni's idea and in Castiglioni's philosophy, there are something always useful. And for mayonnaise spoon, you need a part round just to be sure to clean the jar. But the other part flat, you are sure to clean properly the jar, because usually in a jar, your finger, for example, is not polite. I know the finger is not long enough to arrive into the bottom.
Yeah.
No? So till the last drop, you are sure to use the spoon designed by Castiglioni in a proper way. And it's not so expensive. It's not so complicated. The shape is so simple. It's like a smile also in this part in the end. And also you can use the flat part to spread. So in one object, you have everything useful. And also if it's affordable, well done. So it's with the 20 euros, you can have this spoon. So product by Alessi, but designed by Castiglioni's brother in 1962, is still modern, is still perfect.
Yeah, you're just name dropping already. You work for Floss, Alessi, what else?
Zanotta, Alessi, Floss, Brion Vega for radios, and De Padova also as well for furnitures. And that's it, and many other companies. But nowadays, the historical company who supported the foundation are this one, and we are very happy to continue to find information from the archive to share with them, and vice versa, vice versa.
It's amazing that he created his own playground, his own experiment, his own lab, almost, to experiment with all these objects. And then by doing that, he can even work with the big brands that they are interested in his philosophy and in his objects. That's amazing, because this is literally this creative world everybody wants to have. Every designer loves the creative freedom. That's what they want to create, what they want to build in their business. That clients don't say no, but they can do kind of whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, because if you wrong something, that means that you are in the right mood. So sometimes if you're wrong, it's really good, because you can learn by mistakes.
Yeah, it's like the example from that always reminds me of the sticky notes, right?
Yeah.
They try to come up with a very good glue, and then it was a really bad glue. It only sticks for a few minutes or hours.
It's true.
Right. Sticky notes, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there was another principle, because he was definitely not, well, if I know the stories, you are his dollar, but he was not ego driven. I don't see stories or any articles online about him and ego driven personality. He's not. He's very humble. What was the power of being humble as a designer? Because the world needs to know what you're doing and how can you explain this power? What's the quality of it, being humble?
Yeah, it's not so easy to answer you. I think it's better to come to visit our foundation to understand everything through his project and through his object, because in our museum you can try all chairs and you can have a good feeling with the object, because you are in front of object. And it's difficult to explain you, but I try to do my best to try to imagine Achille Castiglioni in our studio with different people, with workers, with people who made scale models. And you have to imagine a man, a very humble man, who enjoy very much his life, because he'll try to solve a problem every time. So this is at the point. Also nowadays, it's important also to find company who believe in your project. Just because you make something, not because the shape is nice or you are focused on marketing. It's important to solve a problem. That's it. And then if the shape follow the function, it's perfect, wonderful. So Achille was really focused on this kind of principle, because he don't want to, no compromise. So this is the point.
On functionality, then.
Yeah.
So if we talk about design principles, it has to be functional, otherwise he was getting mad, or how did he act?
Yeah, usually, so functionality first and the shape after.
Okay, yeah.
Of course, if you like an object, this means that you like the shape. But if you design something really functional, I think many objects really functional are also really nice, because it's the soul of an object, it's the functionality. In fact, when you have a chair, very nice, with a strange shape, and after 5 minutes, you sit down on the chair and you realize that it's super uncomfortable, who knows, no? Every people say, what's wrong here? So this is the point. So I'm a very good tester. Also nowadays, I love so much to test many objects designed by designers, because if I understand how to use it, that means that it's super cool and well designed.
Yeah, it has potential when it has both. Yeah. We always we do have our own interior design firm, and when we select items or we advise objects, design items for our clients, we always make sure that we can cross the love and the need. I think that's the best. Some people just want the chair and Well, sometimes I do have a day like, okay, something can just be beautiful, that's it. But if you have it for the long term, it's like, okay, no, it needs to be functional and you need to love it. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
of
do have
course,
clients that want chairs to just to look at.
yeah, exactly. So beauty,
It's possible. If those are their terms, if they completely agree on that one, they can choose a beautiful chair just to look at. That's okay. But
yeah, that's okay, but not enough.
not enough
Not
for me.
enough.
No. So but I'm
Especially,
okay.
especially if you pay a lot. This is
Yeah,
the other point, you know. If you pay a lot for a chair that is not super comfortable, oh, you say
yeah.
maybe
It's
I
not
can
that they
choose.
are beautiful and cheap. Most of the time, it's not the combination of beautiful and cheap. It's most of the time beautiful and expensive because
Yeah.
functional and good quality and beautiful. Yeah. What is it? How was he adapting to technological changes? Because it was definitely other times, 50s, 60s, 70s. The wars. What was happening at that time?
For the technology.
Yeah, for technology.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
because
he
right
was
now
really,
we talk about a lot about, well, we tip on AI at the moment and all this.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, but what was going on?
So you have to imagine that my father, I told you, he was really curious about everything, about every culture and every technologies, every materials. He was like a sponge. So you have to imagine that year by year, day by day, or year by year, he continued to update himself without internet. So the unique point, the unique way was to have a good relationship with engineers or workers, I told you. But in the same time, he continued to spend the time in a hardware store just to understand if there are a new bulb, new material in a hardware store, or sometimes also in a food store, but especially in a hardware store. So I remember my father in a hardware store for more than 1 hour, looking for different little things. And if you imagine, he tried to update himself also with a new bulb every year. So when he arrived from America, neon, the bulb, very old, like a
Yeah,
tube, for my father was a new bulb, and immediately he designed a lamp with the tube, with like a tube, like a snake. To be, more or less the first lamp that he designed. Or a rider from America, a light bulb, sorry, from like a car reflector lamp, and he designed a Toio lamp. He found a halogenum
yeah,
bulb,
aluminum.
and
Yeah,
he started to produce some lamps with this kind of bulb. So bulb was the principal component for my father, and he designed around the bulb, the lamp. And he experiment on different shapes, but also different function. Because again, you need, if you need a bedside table lamp, you need a little bulb.
yeah,
Or you need a different lamp for other reason. You mentioned before Arco Lamp. Arch lamp was, I think, the famous one designed by Castiglioni's brother in 1962, and at that time it was a revolutionary concept because it was the first lamp with not fixed on the wall, from the
the
ceiling.
ceiling. Yeah,
So you have an arch directly above the table, and that's it. And you have a space enough to move around the table.
yeah. You're telling table, but most of the time they will present it with a couch and a coffee table, but that's
Yeah,
not the initial idea, right?
it's up to you. If you want to use it, it's perfect to read, of course. But the problem is when you stand up, you bump with your head, so directly on the lamp. So I think this is why also we open our foundation and I travel around the world to continue to share stories, because to me it's so important to explain you also the right position for object, not because it's not so clear, but just because on a magazine, a lot of people say, okay, I can put Arco. I saw Arco also in a bathroom, on a bath.
All right.
So
Yeah.
wonderful, why not? But
Why
at the
not?
same time, it's up to you. We are free to use object designed by Castiglioni's brother everywhere. But I think it's important also to give an explanation sometimes.
Yeah, to give it more meaning, in my opinion,
Yeah,
more value.
value.
Because if you know how to use it properly, why it is designed to solve what issue, you can.
Yeah,
it's more worth it, right?
of course.
Yeah. Was he busy? Because it sounds like storytelling, almost for the old day. We call it right now. We call it storytelling in
Yeah.
marketing. Was he busy with branding, or was it he just did what he loves to do every day? How was he? Because the entrepreneurial part of being this creative mind, this genius. How did you connect both worlds?
So usually he loves so much to arrive at university. He was a professor for 25 years, So he arrived at university like Mary Poppins with a lot of objects not designed by himself or sometimes so anonymous object in one hand. In the other hand, he loves so much to bring also his project at university just to discuss with students about principal components or material or technology or different things. So I think was one of the important professor who tried to find a feedback from a student. Sometimes critical, so he was really happy to receive also a feedback from students. So I think this is another good way, also nowadays, to continue to grow up in a good way, to learn by other people.
Yeah, he was thriving on feedback always because he's a kind of researcher, right? He wants to know the facts and
Exactly.
opinions, and yeah, I think it's a wonderful way to to improve your designs by experimenting. We heard it
It's
a
a
lot.
good way.
It's one of the maybe one of the success secrets of famous architects and designers we had in the podcast before. They are all experimenting, involving many disciplines, many cultures, many whatever, who is important, to give their opinion and to test it. Yeah, to see what it can do.
Luckily, yes. Also, it's right also nowadays. I'm really happy with this.
So balancing with creativity and commercial success.
Yeah.
It reminds me of I had a friend at a design academy in Eindhoven, Job, he was called, and I did a lot of assignments with him because he was a creative mind. He was a creator. He was not a thinker. He was not a designer. He was
Like an inventor,
Yeah, almost inventor. He was always busy with his hands, and welding was his passion. He was
okay.
welding, all with iron, and a lot. But then on one day he designed a fire basket, and it was a fire bucket. It was amazing design. So I told him like, hey, you should go to
You are ready.
producer, to a brand, whatever, introduce your design, make sure you get your royalties, and you can earn money with it. But he said, no, I want it to be mass production. I'm a designer, I'm a creative, I don't want it to be mass production. He thought it was not a compliment for his design. What's your opinion on that one?
Well, I told you that the switch is a good example of a project that is for mass production for everyone. So this is why we love, also Achille loves so much IKEA, So when you say IKEA, especially in Milan during Salone del Mobile, you have to imagine the face of people when I say we love IKEA. During the design week in April in Milan, a lot of people say, oh gosh, are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Because if you imagine, of course, we need the quality for every object, of course. But if you imagine, we can put in production an object for everyone very functional, useful, and easy to assemble it, easy to disassemble it. And also when you broke
disassemble
it,
as well. That's very important nowadays, in terms of sustainability.
of course.
Yeah.
So if you repair it, if you are able to repair it, why not? So this is the switch that we have to do nowadays. You know, we have to look at the past, and we have to be very ethical and very focused on this kind of problem solving. So mass production for everyone. Know something. For example, Vico Magistretti said, I would like to design an umbrella. Umbrella is for everyone, no?
Yeah.
He never designed an umbrella, but my father said, I would like to design something for everyone. And he designed a switch. And he win with this. So it's not so expensive, and you can use it also nowadays. So this is the point. You can, I think also for Achille was important to be very, very ethical and very clear with every project, and also for client, the unknown customer. They have to understand immediately which is the project, why Achille designed an object like that or not, why there is a details or not. So I think it's really important to be absolutely clear in front of a customer nowadays.
So it all comes back again, just to make sure everybody gets it when you're listening. Every time you see that the design principles are coming back, if people do know you as a designer, as a company, as a brand, what kind of impact you try to create, what it is that you are aiming for with your designs, it's very easy to explain your designs, right? If you know it has to be playful, it has to be a solution, it has to be sustainable because I want to reassemble it and I want to that's so powerful when you can communicate it about your designs, about your portfolio, about whatever you're designing nowadays. So what kind of advice do you have for designers that want to collaborate with brands and manufacturers? Because there are a lot of big brands out there, but it seems to be hard for you as a single unknown designer to come up with your good product. In some ways, it's like you collected all these thousands of objects of unknown designers. Probably you have a great design, a great chair, a great vase, whatever, and it's solving a new thing or a new dimension. How can you start collaborating with the brands nowadays? What's your advice on that one?
So, for example, I give you an example about the last project designed by Achille was a set of pencils and fountain pen, micromina, and the normal classic pencil, really nice, quite big, but really good because you can hold it in easy way. And this was the last project designed by Achille. Imagine, Achille was an architect, and the last project was to sign something for all of us. So really amazing also for me. And just a few years ago, I tried to find a good company who believe in this project. And luckily, I found a startup in Bologna, in Italy. They call Ego Undesigned. And they decided to put in production the last project designed by Achille with 3D printers. Why not?
And
new technology.
It didn't exist.
For my father in 2001, he wasn't able to make it with 3D printer.
So actually, that's quite cool. In line of his innovative research, embracing new technologies.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we found all project designed by him till the prototyping. So he tested all the shapes, and we decided just 3 shapes, 3 dimension of pencils. And we say, okay, we can try to put in production this pencil with 3D printer, but the point is also to choose the material. Which material? It's good and perfect nowadays. Probably just because I'm a geologist, I love so much graphene. And in the same time, the company told us that they were able to, with the 3D printer, they will able to use graphene. That it's a layer. Not a layer. It's a wire that you can build layers by layers. In 3 hours, you have the last project designed by my father and by Gianfranco Cavaglia in 2001. Nowadays, 20 years late, is still available. It's not so expensive, and it's really good because you can use it like a pencil, and you can also remove the graphene, and you can use different accessories. So you can choose colors, you can use a pen. So just remove one by one an element, and you can use the same object with different accessories. So this is the goal. This is the point for us, to also to find a good relationship with a new company. And we grew up together in the same time, because they had the big responsibility to put in production the last project designed by Achille. But in the same time, I was really happy to give this project to a startup, young people.
But what advice can we take from this experience if you are a designer and you are solving something, or you have a because that's you should have a kind of new special element involved in your design. Otherwise, it's just beautiful. It's just the new next couch in Milan, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
It can be a new material, but when it's just a new material, most of the time I'm like, okay, yeah, cool material. But what else can we do with it? Let's experiment. Who's experimenting?
Experiment. This is the right sentence, the right word. We have to experiment, and we have to be very, very brave. This is also, you have to knock at the door every time. If some company said, no, I don't want this, don't want to believe in this project, never mind, go to another company. And be brave, because the unique way is to continue to experiment with the company who are not so well known. Also, I can also tell you the truth. I don't want to go to a famous company for pencil, for example. I choose a young startup, because you can grow up together. You can experiment together, and you try to find the right solution together. The point is, when you are alone and you are focused on one point and that's it, and if of course, if you ask to Floss company, Alessi company, our major company now, we have a lot of famous company nowadays. But if you imagine, when my father started, when he was young, he started with a company who are few people together.
Yeah,
so
they were explorers as well. Yeah, they were. Yeah.
So just few people. So I think it's really nice also this concept. Try to imagine, to go to experiment with the company not so big. You can find the right solution together. Cool. If you go to Alessi company or Floss company, they already on the top.
Yeah.
They don't want to listen you. No, so I don't want to say something really bad. It's not this. The point is that they nowadays they arrived to the top, and they, in fact, they continue to ask to famous designer like Philip Stark, Konstantin Gercic, Michael Anastasiades, Marcel Wanders, and so on. Wonderful, perfect.
Maybe they establish more for certainty or security in the brand.
Nowadays it's like this. At that time, they asked two young designers, Achille Piergiacomo and also Tobias Scarpa, the son of Carlo Scarpa, another famous architect. So you have to start together. To create an amazing company, maybe together, not only like an art director, but also like a good team, a part of a team of a company.
I like it. It reminds me of the quote, one of your father's quotes. It's in Milanese, but you gave me the English
Yeah,
translation. Experience does not provide certainty or security. That's a cool one.
but
Because, yeah,
rather increase.
yeah, rather increases possibility of error.
That's
That's a cool
really,
one because
yeah,
a lot of designers have this imposter syndrome. They want to do it perfect and they are like, I'm not there yet. I don't know enough. Who am I? Something like that. But this is another
yeah.
mindset.
In fact, he continued to say also that it's better to start every time with humility, no? If you are humble, it's better. And because the experience does not risk turning into cunning. So this is really so
Yes. Yeah.
this is the point.
It's like the same when you, and that's I can imagine the frustration because when you're young and you're just graduated from a design academy or not even on a design academy, but you're just really creative, you're kind of rebellious. You have these new visions of the world.
Yeah.
When you try to knock the doors of this big company,
Hello, I'm here.
yeah, and then what? They slam the
And
door
nobody
in your face.
answers. Oh,
No.
really bad.
Yeah,
Try again. Try again. Try again to find the right company sometimes, and not for example, if you experiment on material, it's really nice to go not on the well-known company but someone who are involved in another field. So combination.
combinations. Yes. All right, the last part about the beyond interior design. We're talking about the future in reflecting on your father's work and his insights to design. How do you think he would, well, envision the future of design, or what's, yeah,
Bo, it's really Italian, but we say, I can tell you the truth. My father was a practical man, very pragmatic and very honest. So I think it's important to live day by day in a good way, and you have to enjoy your life, and you have to be ethic. And I think the future it's something that is super. It's go ahead, you know.
intangible.
It's
Yeah,
too far.
you cannot touch it. You're creating it
No,
in the
no.
now.
You
So
have to live now, exactly. And if you are really ethic and really honest, I think it's super nice to live in this moment, not only for the future. So this is why when you say future vision, I say, oh God, I can't say nothing about my father in this direction.
So what about maybe then the kind of predictions or hopes that he might have had for involving the role of designers in our
I
daily?
think to continue to be curious about everything. So if we can continue to discover the word and respect also the word, but with a good sense of humor also, I think it's really nice, you know, not to be serious. And also this is important, not to enjoy every time your day. I think is really important. It's not linked to the religion. It's not linked to philosophy. It's just because sometimes we need the time to refresh ourselves and
Yeah.
live day by day and for this moment, not for the future, for the past. I can tell you the truth. I have a big responsibility on my shoulder because the past is so heavy. And my father was an amazing man. But, you know, it's important to keep alive the heritage and keep alive the legacy in a good way. But to me, I'm always here, not in the past.
Wonderful. I think it's a wonderful mindset, wonderful intention for every day in life because today you can design your own life, you experience it today. You can worry about tomorrow, or you can think about some next steps in future, or you to create to make your dreams come true or your career plans, but you have to do it today and tonight. So you can better enjoy it today.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
it's gone. Yeah, it's wasted. Well, right now, you have created a wonderful foundation.
Yeah.
I can imagine people would like to visit it. It's in Milan. Where is it based? Milan, right?
Yeah. We are in Milano, close to the castle, the famous castle in Milan, in the center of Milan. Luckily, we are in Piazza Castello 27, but you can find all information on our website or on Instagram page, because you can follow us and you can discover more and more, and you can go deeply into our archive. We have also a sausage dog who hosts you, so it's not a normal museum. You can try all chairs, you can turn on and off light, and you have just to book your visit in advance.
You're allowed to touch it in your museum.
Yeah, of course, it's a unique museum where you can touch all things.
Yes.
So,
even when it is do not touch, I'm always like, I need to touch it. I can't.
I would like to touch it. So me too. So this is why when I opened my museum, I say that when I transformed the studio of my father into a museum, I say, okay, it's allowed to touch everything. For the dog, it's up to you, but for other things, it's so important. And we change exhibition every year, so you can come again and again every year to discover more and more about Castiglioni. So feel free to send us an email, and we can organize an English tour or Italian tour, just in case. And that's it.
Sounds great. We will prepare all the information for you. If you are listening to the podcast right now, you can find the information in the description of the podcast. It will be instituteofitalianimpact.com/Castiglioni. We will put some visuals over there from the products we talk about, more to connect with you on LinkedIn, on Instagram, whatever. So it's very easy to connect with you and to visit you in Milan. I would love to do that too, because I've never been in your museum.
Keep in touch.
I will put it on my list. And
wish list. So
yeah, great talking to you. In essence, it is having your own design principles is about, well, it's more than just creating a beautiful object or spaces. It's about adding deeper meaning, intentions, solutions, and values for your work. I think it's it not only enhances the impact and relevance of the designs, but it also contributes to a more thoughtful and responsible design culture. So it's wonderful to hear that, because it's completely in line with today's world, with sustainability and all these topics are going on. We do have a lot of stuff in the world, so we need just better stuff, not more, right? We need better solutions. So, for the people that are really interested, we do offer interior design business trainings. We developed a wonderful program. It's called the Interior Impact Formula. And phase 3 of that, model 3, it's all about developing and communicating your own design principles. It's one strategy to attract your ideal clients as well, because what you believe and other people believe what you believe, you are probably a really good match. You can do whatever you want. This is how you can create your creative freedom. You heard it from Giovanna today. If you are on the same page, you have the same intentions, you can work wonderful together with clients or other manufacturers or whatever. But there are way more advantages to it, to have your own principles. So it's a little bit part of our training. So if you are a self-employed interior designer and you want to go to the next level, check out beyondinteriordesign.club, because this is how your design studio will be a flourishing design studio. So again, beyondinteriordesign.club. Giovanna, grazie mille.
Grazie mille. Thank you very much. Doc, see you soon.
Yeah, great to talk to you again. Thank you so much for your contribution. Keep the legacy alive. We will contribute to that via our community and our podcast.
Thank you. Keep in touch.
See you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.